Were India complacent? Did Hardik Pandya tactically err yet again? We will put these questions to Chetan Narula and Jamie Alter, who I know are just as disheartened as any other Indian cricket follower, because we didn't expect this, guys. Look at both of them laughing. But the bubble has burst when it comes to Hardik Pandya. Chetan, let me begin with you.
Hi, Neha, first of all. Look, I'm not going to judge Hardik Pandya too much on this because I'm pretty sure that he did not get the team that he wanted. I mean, you look at the balance. If Hardik Pandya says that, okay, I wanted only 8 batsmen in my 15-man squad, my batting finishes at number 7, I have to pick 4 number 11s every time I go out on the field, then yes, the bubble has burst for Hardik Pandya and he should be nowhere near the Indian captaincy. The truth for me is that the selectors and the team management, of which Hardik Pandya is a part, all failed collectively in this because they could not balance out whether they are experimenting for the ODI World Cup or the T20 World Cup. Because I, for one, do not understand how should I attribute this loss to the T20 World Cup experimentation when you're still experimenting for the ODI World Cup. And then for Coach Rahul Dravid to come out and start making excuses about batting depth, this and that. Yes, Hardik Pandya could have been a little more proactive with his bowling options. But to me, it seemed like he was playing with one hand tied behind his back. So as much as I would like to fault him, I don't think he's completely to blame. And I would still want to see how the T20 side molds in the future under him.
I think progressively we've seen for the last 18 months, 2 years, that India's T20 cricket is outdated. It's borderline broken. To expect it to revive itself against in 5 matches against the West Indies is probably a bit too much. But that said, I know the West Indies beat South Africa in a series when Robin Power took over the leadership, but I don't really rate them very high. So I've said before, the first 2 matches where West Indies won by 4 runs and 2 wickets, that was not West Indies doing anything great. It was India being subpar and India actually losing those matches, right? It should have actually, the last match, very, very different. For West Indies to come back after losing 2, full credit to them in that 5 match because that was the decider. It still should have been, like I predicted, 4-1 to India. Not because they're doing great things, but because West Indies, I just don't see them a consistent team. Now that said, yes, Chetan's right in speculating that Hardik Pandya probably was not happy with what he got. But again, you're a captain. You're not the 12th man. You have a say. You have clout. You are a transformed person after back-to-back IPL finals, one which your team won, one they were runner-up. So you have a lot going for you. So to say that you perhaps didn't get the right team, it's probably true. But you still have to use what you had. So
Hardik Pandya, after the match, this is what he had to say. He says, if you see, we lost that period post the 10 overs. We lost the momentum when I came in and couldn't capitalize on the situation. I think we are going to challenge ourselves. We try to get better. In hindsight, it's fine. We don't need to explain much. Losing is good at times. On the positive side, we've got a lot of learnings. I think the boys played well, but I failed to play accordingly at that point in time. And yes, that is another problem, which brings me to the next question. What is Hardik Pandya's batting position, or what should be Hardik Pandya's batting position in T20Is? But clearly, he wants to take his time. It's something that he does for Gujarat Titans. He comes higher up the order. Is that something he should be looking to do, Jamie? Number one. That's one question. The other one being, in the last match, when you were playing with Tilak Verma, you came in place of Sanju Samson to finish the game. Yesterday, you sent Sanju Samson first, put him in that position where, of course, it was an opportunity for Sanju Samson. We'll discuss that. But then you came in much right after Sanju Samson. Is that something that he should have seen? He should have played a captain's knock. Come in at a time, come in at number 5 and finish the game. It's a crucial match. India had to win the series.
Yeah, look, given all that Hardik Pandya has achieved, and let's just talk specifically about T20s here because this is a discussion based on a T20 series result. He set the bar very high. He's sort of been on a downward spiral or maybe an inconsistent spiral in regards to his batting. I still believe that he's the best finisher that this team has.
But maybe when your batting is not clicking, maybe you actually want to, in hindsight, maybe he might think maybe I should have gone and just batted at number six. Yes, there was a very, very long tail, but when I think there was enough evidence to suggest that he was struggling in the first couple innings, right? I mean, 15 or 20 off 15 looks good because that last ball was a six that won the match. But
Yeah.
he was struggling. The shots he did hit, there were some good shots, but I remember there was an edge down to third man. There was a miscued shot to cover. When he got out, also caught behind, looking to work the ball towards mid on. So from a technical aspect, there were a few shortcomings. Maybe in hindsight, he will tell himself one day when he's sitting in his room, maybe I should not have batted at four. Maybe I should have just come down. Because there are times, and we've seen this with many players. Sometimes they think, the batting more balls in a T20 or a one day might actually bring back to form, but it often proves counterproductive. Maybe sometimes, and again, it's a very thin line here. Maybe sometimes you're better off just coming, okay, we need 10 runs, I'll go there. When you need 25, 30, and you have a well set Tilak Verma, maybe that day someone else should have come. But again, we've discussed the Chahal issue, we've discussed the Arshdeep issue. But again, I just go back to the uses of Mukesh Kumar. 5 matches, he could have bowled a maximum of what, 20 overs, right? He bowled 12.5. So somehow, even factoring for a
Yeah.
message that maybe we need to get this guy ready, 12.5 overs out of 5 T20s, which again, frankly, I think he should not have been on all five. But just 12.5, even despite this argument that he doesn't have the right players, it says that he doesn't have any faith in that guy. Because if you're told to play him in all 5 matches and then you only bowl him for 12.5, that's something which is going to take. I mean, he's not answerable to me or any of us here, but
Yeah.
somewhere down the line, that might prove very, very indicative of where India went wrong with these 5 matches in terms of their planning. Like Chetan said, this was a tournament based entirely on what's going to happen in the months of October and November, which is
Which is
flawed logic right now.
which is ironic because you have absolutely no answers to any of your questions that you wanted answers to before the series began for the World Cup squad. I'm just coming to you, Chetan. Just let me put the other quote as well of Hardik Pandya's, where he's saying all lost but fine here and there. He says, he goes on, let's put that quote up as well. All these games are the games where you are going to challenge us. We are going to challenge ourselves. In the hindsight, one series here and there is fine. This is the same thing that Rohit Sharma says. It almost seems like the moment you become the captain, you start seeing things differently. This is exactly what Rohit Sharma would say, and we'd say, you know what, one series here and there, let's accept that there have been problems. Instead of saying, oh, it was just one series, we were experimenting, oh, it's a process. Anyway, he goes on to say it's a longer process, which I don't need to explain much. The boys are trying to commit themselves well, and I think that is going well. I mean, it's a long way, T20 World Cup 2024. And the next is the ODI World Cup. Losing is good sometimes, and it teaches you a lot of things. Again, losing is good sometimes, which is what he said in the earlier quote as well. It does not cover up the mess.